What's going on, YouTube? Florida Houston coming at you with a video. 7-13 the Bio City win the building. Alright, so just want to give my takeaways on this preseason game. And of course, I got to catch up on some news that came about a move Houston made. So, got to talk about it. Houston did end up falling by a score of 20-10. So I'm going to start off with the bad, Blake Fisher didn't look so good along with the backup online. Graham Mertz, that quarterback from Florida, threw three picks. Two of the three were pretty boneheaded, and one wasn't his fault, which was tipped, which led to them being picked off. But still, pretty part of making pretty poor decisions. And of course, the backup secondary, yeah. And of course, it was some good, and that showed, John Mechie looked, he was the leading receiver. He looked pretty solid. And Goombawala had some nice runs to show for it. And D Mills, threw him a TD pass to Braxton Berrios, though he did overthrow Cade Stover, which would have been a TD, but Mills managed to make up for it. And and EJ Speed, I thought he looked good as well, along with who else did their thing. And special teams, can't overlook them as well. Yeah, there are some things that they got to continue to work on, with week one approaching, because there are still players that still have a lot to prove and gonna get another opportunity to, to prove themselves they belong on a 53-man roster. So their next game is against the Carolina Panthers, who comes into town. And let's see who continues to shine, who bounces back, and who struggles. So there's my takeaway. And of course, I got to add some Texans news for sure. And then they added Jalen Mills, who spent last season with the Jets. Though he's playing on three teams, and the Eagles being one of them, who won him a Super Bowl back in 2017, courtesy of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's injuries, which appears to be not as serious as most fans, such as myself, thought it appeared to be. Though I still wouldn't be surprised if he happens to miss time, which is better than missing the remainder of the season for sure. Yeah, the secondary still take a hit, but I could see him being back, in between week 3 and 6, regarding Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, though. But as far as Jalen Mills goes, I say he's better than any of the other backups they would have, such as, MJ Stewart. I wasn't saying that our backup players in the secondary wouldn't step up, but it would be just reliable tight ends and the reliable receivers that the backups in the Houston secondary has to deal with. Such as, Travis Kelce, for example, the Isaiah Likely's, Tyler Higbee's, something like that. But, I can't be mad at this pickup in Jalen Mills. So, welcome to the Texans. Though, Brevin Jordan, suffered an apparent leg injury. The guy who's just, looking good in training camp. And, he had a chip on his shoulder, courtesy of what happened in week 2 of last season, suffered his ACL injury that led to him being out for the year. But Hopefully the injury isn't too severe because, man, injuries in training camp really suck for real. Because, yeah, it's part of the game, but injuries in training camp, regular season, playoffs, freaking stinks. So let's see what happens with Brevin Jordan down the road. But till my next video, Lord of Houston checking on the out of here. Let's go Texans.